Hello, I'm John Waters, and I'm supposed to announce there is no smoking in this theater, which I think is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard of in my life. How can anyone sit through a length of a film, and especially a European film, and not have a cigarette? But don't you wish you had one right now? And I'm telling you that smoke anyway. It gives ushers jobs, and if people didn't smoke, there would be no employment for the youth of today. So once again, no smoking in this theater.
NoDQ.com.
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 NoDQ.com. NoDQ.com.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
That bloody thing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com and across the Multiverse of Media. I am, of course, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, joined in the chat room, as I always seem to be, by the regular crew. Joey's here. Yes, Joey, it's been a bump football weekend, and the Steelers are looking to make it the same for our folks at the Greg Cherry brand. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Muhammad's here. Good to see Muhammad. Josh is here. Matthew's here. JJ's here. Let's do the thing, kids. So I'm going to throw this at you. I threw it out on social, and I'm going to say it now. I have been, we'll call it encouraged, to return this show, Talk Wrestling, to its original format of having questions. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and open up the chat room. And in this particular case, I want to engage. I want to have stuff to do. So throw me the wrestling questions. And while we wait for those questions to come in from across the multiverse, including hi on Instagram, I hope I have that working. Let me see how we're doing over here. It looks like we're doing okay on Instagram. So cool. Very cool. Good to see that. So anybody who wants to ask me a wrestling question, since it is Talk Wrestling, we'll go ahead and answer those questions. Within reason, of course. I have to, be careful what I answer and what I don't answer, because we are on NoDQ.com as well. So I have to make sure I don't cause any problems. Now, as far as outside of the wrestling world, yes, the Rams just got ballyhooed, bamboozled, whatever you want to call it. It was rough. Cowboys sucked. They were awful yesterday. And if Josh's comment pertaining to the Cowboys is true, I am going to blow my top. It's going to be a thing. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Yeah, again, we can't seem to get away from some facet of AEW, be it positive or negative, or be it employee, owner, whatever, causing or having trouble caused by others. It's ridiculous. But it is what it is. Josh, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to table that question until week of. So that'll be not this week, but next week, going into the Rumble. We're going to have prediction shows across the board. You know that better than anybody, I think, because you're involved in both sides, the NoDQ.com, the NoDQ Galaxy, and the Multiverse Media. So please check out the shows tomorrow. That is a good question, Joey. I don't know why they haven't come to Los Angeles proper. I know they've done the Rumble in Fresno. I know they've done the Rumble, I believe, in San Jose at one point, up at the Shark Tank. They certainly did it at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim, right, Aaron? So why not Staples Center? Why not SoFi Stadium? Why not the Forum, or some venue that can handle it, right? That's a very good question. I would love to see it rectified here sooner rather than later. The Royal Rumble Premium Live event is the only one of the big four I have yet to attend, and I very much look to change that as soon as I get wind of the Rumble coming to the Southland, because it is a great event. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views, premium live events of the year. I've had a chance to go to Survivor Series. I've been to 2 WrestleManias. No, I'm sorry, take that back. 3 WrestleManias now. One was 2 days, so it feels like 4. And of course, I went to SummerSlam a few times when it was here in LA and in Vegas. So, love the Rumble would come here. So, Triple H, Nick Khan, if you're watching, the LA market is ready for the Royal Rumble. Please bring it down. Would I rock the wrestling world tonight and have Jinder Mahal defeat Seth Rollins, even if just to set up a Money in the Bank cash in for Priest? Oh, boy. So, that is a great, thank you, JJ, for deleting that, bringing that question here, by the way. Here's my thought process on tonight's Raw, which is going to start at the top of the hour for you East Coast kids and anybody that has access to the East Coast feed. I'll be watching at 8 o'clock tonight because I don't have access, and I'm trying to watch the Steelers game against the Bills because it's going to be over, I think, by the time I'm done. But even still, it's ugly. So we'll leave it at that. I am of the belief that as big as the Judgment Day is right now, and they are big, I think they're kind of treading water, for lack of a better term, even with the fun of R-Truth being added to the group. But I think they need a wow moment. And I think, as predictable maybe now as it seems, I think Rollins needs to hold the World Heavyweight Championship until losing it to CM Punk at WrestleMania. And then Punk gets cashed in on by Damian Priest. That way, Rollins, if this worn out back stuff is to be believed, then I would say WrestleMania, if he can make it to there, would be great. That way, Punk gets a World Heavyweight Championship main event moment. And then Priest just pisses in his Kool-Aid by ending it at ending the reign right then and there. Now, the only, I guess, issue I see with that is that means the World Championship might not be in the main event spot necessarily, which I think it should be. So there's a lot still to unpack between now and April 6th. So that's how I would do it, just to give Punk a ready-made feud going out of Mania. He only has to deal with Damian Priest. He has to deal with the rest of Judgment Day, if that's even still a thing come WrestleMania. But then Rollins has a chance to take some time off. And again, there is still the reshoots of Captain America that I believe, as Matthew pointed out, are taking place. But yeah, to the chat room's point, no world title match set for the Rumble yet. So are they making us keep thinking about tonight? That is the $64,000 question. If you go back to my old days of game showing, do I think Triple H will put the belt on Jinder Mahal tonight? Also, can we answer that? With Cora Jade out, I'm curious how much of a female roster WWE has for the Rumble with going deep into NXT or special surprises. You'd be surprised how many people are in that Performance Center right now. Matthew, there are a lot of women that are almost there, right? They're not quite there, but I think for a lack of a term, for a body in the Rumble, maybe. I also don't underestimate the intrigue of surprise. The current crop of NXT women that are there, they'll get 30. They'll get to that 30 number, and they will make it work. WWE always finds a way. The show, unless there's a global pandemic, and even then they went on, the show goes on within WWE. I can't speak for the entire fan base about how we feel in the United States with WrestleMania possibly going to Wembley or outside of North America, but I personally love it for the business. Myself, little bit of a bitch to travel over there if I want to go to WrestleMania, because got to get the passport together, got to obnoxious costs on travel, different currency to get food, all the things. So food, merch, all the necessities, room and board. So I'm okay with it. Pushing for it, excuse me, as on the business side of things. As a fan, I'm going, shit, if I really want to go and see that first big one outside of the continent, how much is it going to set me back? That's what it is. But business wise, I am here for it. Let's see. What are my thoughts on Judgment Day, or R-Truth being part of Judgment Day? Excuse me. That is a really bright light over here. What the hell is that? Oh, it's a glimmer of the outside. Pay attention to that random light behind the over on the curtain there. Let's see if we can. There we go. Sorry, it was gonna bug me if I kept looking at it. So anyway, squirrel moment. Very, very easily distracted. Don't mind me. I love Truth being not only back on television, but being forced upon, if you will, the Judgment Day. I think it's funnier than hell. I love Ron. We have from the beginning here on NoDQ.com and doing early shows and covering TNA from its infancy 21 and a half, I guess, years ago. So it's cool for me as a fan, acquaintance, I guess, of Ron's, to see him doing the thing with Judgment Day. And really, I mean, WWE merch is even going through with it on the shop. They've got the R-Truth altered shirts. They've got the they are going all in on it, and we've said it for a few weeks now. We need to get protection on R-Truth. He is a national treasure. He should be protected at all costs. Absolutely, no doubt about it. And when that Hall of Fame speech happens, I think we'll be surprised. I think we'll get Ron Killings being humble, being serious, but he'll definitely get a little bit of that R-Truth haha in there. Going back to the other question about the Rumble, I think Naomi Trinity dropping the championship at Hard to Kill, it could be indicative of what we see 2 weeks from, or in a little under 2 weeks. Instead of that Hard to Kill, I'm saying it now. I think we're going to see Trinity back. With the trademark of Rainmaker, do you think Okada is WWE or AEW bound, or could he stay in TNA? I mean, he definitely, from what I understand, had a great showing at Snake Eyes last night. Okada is one of those talents that he can write his own ticket, and he's proven that the trademark's in place. So I want to see Kazuchika Okada wherever he's happy, right? I want to see him go wherever he feels he will be most best utilized for the talents that he has. This is probably accurate about Truth, by the way. And yeah, let's not sleep on Hammerstone. That dude is a brick wall. That guy is just specimen. Him and Josh Alexander had an unbelievable match at Hard to Kill. Go back and watch the show. If you guys have an opportunity to get your hands on or get your eyes on Hard to Kill, watch that show. Cannot recommend enough, as they say now. Seriously, why is Jinder Mahal still an evil foreign heel? I thought we moved past these gimmicks, and it's likely they don't have faith that he could be evil. That's exactly what it is. The fact that even knowing we were being trolled, I mean, yeah, the pop was a surprise. Surprise, excuse me. It was like, oh, he's actually here. It's like, well, no shit. He was up in Pasadena, and then The Rock came down to San Diego. It wasn't a oh wow moment, for a good chunk of us that surf the web for this shit in the regular. But I don't think that they're keeping Jinder Mahal around because of the faith in him as a babyface. I think they keep Jinder around because he is a great worker in the ring, and at least from a fan's perspective, he's a great talent to have on the air. He gets the heat, man. It's cheap heat. It's easy heat. There's no doubt about it. But the guy can wrestle, and there is history with him and Seth Rollins if you go back to the original NXT Championship tournament. So it's not like it's just, let's just throw him out there. Part of it probably could be just getting that itch behind Tony Khan's ear and driving him crazy. Who knows? On that front, who will so-and-so up in NorCal Booker of the Year be? Does he upset Tony Khan and choose somebody else, even though he's the guy up north is closely aligned to AEW? At least what we know. Let's not be, spitting stuff we don't have 100% accuracy on. Or does he pick Tony Khan and tarnish his... Okay, you can't tarnish or polish a giant turd. It doesn't matter how many times you wash it in the sink with a hand brush or, throw Clorox on it or whatever. It is a turd, Sam. So I don't really think any of us that have any sort of, sense in our brain are really going to give a shit what the journalist up in Northern California thinks of anybody. So anyway, a lot of people seem to want Rhea versus Becky at WrestleMania. Am I the only one that wants all the horsewomen to take a step back from the title picture? Not necessarily, JJ. I just think that and this is me as a fan, we didn't get what we wanted at WrestleMania 2020, which was Ronda versus Becky one-on-one. Becky, of course, not too long after that, took her time off, took her maternity leave at that point. So it feels like there's a lot of unfinished business with various members of the horsewomen. Becky and Rhea feels like it needs to be a big stage show. But to your point, I think that they do get a lot of television time. They do get a lot of title opportunities. The scuttlebutt is Io is going to defend her title against Bayley when the inevitable in quotes, by the way, breakup happens. So I don't know. I mean, I like Becky. I like Mercedes. I liked Bayley and Mercedes, by the way, being there at Hard to Kill to support their friend Trin and to congratulate Jordan Grace, the new Knockouts World Champion. So as long as the women in wrestling are being showcased properly and they're having a good time and they're getting to enjoy what they do, it doesn't bother me. And I know I'm biased with Charlotte, but I am still hopeful that having to be off for 6 months up to a year with an injury will let WWE take the opportunity they have and elevate further people. So to answer the question, no, you're not the only one. I just don't know if I'm one of the others that believes it. Because I do know that you're not the only one that thinks that way. And Matthew, you pointed this out a couple times this week. Harder to say TNA isn't trying to become the number 2 company. They've, Hammerstone's kind of in their eye. They've got Okada, Ospreay's with them, off and on. Nick Nemeth is now definitely going to be a part of the TNA presentation. So that's awesome. Again, so far, Nick Nemeth is booked every weekend through, I think, mid-February, except actually mid-March, like going into Mania time, except for the 27th. So, Nick, come to Vegas. Check out the show. Where are we at here? There they are. Right there. Let me get rid of that real quick. If you're going to be in Vegas on the 27th, looking for someplace to watch the Royal Rumble, you get close to the Santa Fe Station Hotel Casino in Vegas. Paradise Kitty will be there. Doors at 7, show at 8. Watch the pay-per-view on your portable device there, your phone, your tablet, your whatever, your Google, Android, whatever. Watch it there, and then come watch the kitties. That's all I'm saying. I'm doing that myself. If I'm well from this damn flu, we'll see. I'm going so far so good. Okay, we did talk about gender earlier, Marshall, so I'm just going to put this up really quickly and say a big, hard no. There is no way, Marshall, that they're going to have Jinder Mahal beat both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I know we never say never in wrestling or in WWE especially, but this has to be one of those instances. Just for my money. Something like that, Jinder. Give me 1 second, guys. 21 minutes, not bad. I'm proud of myself there. Josh says, I've started my now traditional Rumble watch in preparation for this year's Rumble. Watched the O2 Rumble the other day. What are my favorite Rumbles besides 1992 and 2001? O2 is a good one. I like the O2 Rumble. I like the 1991 Royal Rumble event. The match was good. I like the 2008 Royal Rumble at the Garden was really fun to watch. As a matter of fact, let me go into my little. As we're going along today and this week, I am doing all the shows that we're promoting, all the shows I'm hosting. The middle, the lower third middle is what I'm binging from the past right now. I'm still watching late 1990 WWF and WCW TV. I'm coming up on Starrcade, which after tonight's Raw, I will be probably watching Starrcade tomorrow before Dylan gets home from school. He'll be home today at some point. For he's off for Dr. King Day. He's still with his mother. But I'm watching old WCW. I'm watching the WWE Superstars, and I'm watching the special events, the main event in January 91, the Rumble in January of 91, Clash of Champions 60 Dynamites in January of 91, and of course Starrcade, December 1990, just my next big thing that I'm watching. So I love watching the Royal Rumbles back. I have my entire time as a fan. It's pretty cool. Let's see. So as far as the favorite Rumbles, Josh, definitely 02's a solid favorite. The 03 event was good. 04 I thought was a great event and a great match. So I'm not as diehard a fan of the Rumble as Greg and JJ, but I would definitely say that it's one of my favorite gimmick or concept matches. See, the issue is, and there's still funny, is that all the former wrestlers tend to be. Yeah, I suppose that's true, Tom. That's fair. Do I think we'll see Alexa Bliss in the Royal Rumble this year? Oh, I would like to think so. I also see, the posts on their Instagram story, her and Ryan's, about the little one, and the little one's still very little. So I don't know if she'll want to come back just yet. So we'll see. And as far as give me the football updates, I got the game on here in the background. Don't worry, folks. I'm keeping an eye on it. Josh says Bayley hasn't had a title run in 3 years, so I think we need another face run. I'm okay with that. If the breakup damage control leads to a face turn by Bayley that leads to her being a champion, I'm cool with it. How do I book the return of AJ Lee? Does it make more sense for her to be a Paul Heyman type? I think a lot of what will determine AJ Lee's return is how April's body is doing. If you've read her book like I have, she was very much physically burnt when she stepped away. It's hard to get back on track with that kind of wear and tear being built up on you. So in a Paul Heyman role, it's maybe, but who do you put her with is the question, Zach. Like, who do you put AJ Lee with? Because even in this era where Paul Heyman is still an unbelievable next level talent, he's very much an island unto himself, not as far as relevancy, but as far as he's a manager, advocate, spokesman, whatever, from the greatest manager era ever that is still able to produce, and WWE still wants him to be a part of the company. So where do you put her in is the question I think that people would have. I'll go to Vegas. I'd love to go to Vegas. Let's do the thing. Let's see. Rhea versus Becky where the money is. They occasionally test it via. Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's the thing right there. I get the mindset of pulling the horsewomen back, pulling in on the reins, if you will, but it always gets a reaction when they test it, either mentioning it, putting it on house shows, social media, and there's always some sort of positive pop for it. I thought I answered your question, Mohammed. Forgive me if I did not. I will Scroll up and take a look. I did not. I didn't see it. There you go. How long do I think AEW will last? What is the future for both Chris Jericho and Jack Perry in AEW? Goodness. So AEW will have a future as long as there's a call for it, as long as there's a market for it, right? It's really about supply and demand. As far as Jericho and Jack Perry, I think that we, in the comment room, we as a internet wrestling community, we as a fan base are putting a lot of stock in what we hear through second or even third party information and what we see on Chris Jericho's social media. Keep in mind, everybody, Chris Jericho is one of the great workers, and I do mean workers both physically and mentally, of our time. So let's not put too much stock in what Jericho is putting out there as far as maybe, seeming like he's defending a lost cause in Tony Khan, if you believe Tony's a lost cause. And also the accusations against him, nothing has been proven, nothing has been outright, charged or anything. So yeah. As far as Jack Perry goes, I don't know what to think after he showed up at New Japan up in San Jose the other day. So I would honestly not mind if he just went away. I think he's one of those guys that's just going to be a cancer and albatross on whoever he works with, wherever he works. He's a problem child at this point. And he's not at the star level of the Elite or CM Punk where he's going to be able to bounce back, or the company will be able to bounce back using him. So that's where I stand with both those guys. Thank you for the question. Thank you for pointing out that I did not see it. I appreciate that. I'm trying to. There we go. Let's see. That's not a question. There's not one opponent that I can accept Cody facing at WrestleMania if he's not finishing his story, and that's Austin. Would love to hear more on that, Psycho. Please fill me in there. Now that we know, Vince, that we don't know that. We don't know that. We just don't know because nothing's been, put out a press release. So again, I know that especially on NoDQ where I am, we go by what's on NoDQ.com on the news pages, but we don't know that for sure that Vince is 100% out of power. So let's not speculate. Let's see. Oh, I'm just having to. Let's see. AJ Lee can have so many dream matches. AJ versus Bailey, AJ versus Cord, just off the top of my head. AJ Lee. Well, as far as Rumble participants, AJ Lee, Roxanne Perez, Cord, again, that'd be great. If I was booking the Grizzly Young Veterans on TNA, what would my dream match be? Right now, it would be dream match would be the Motor City Machine Guns because they're the greatest tag team that's still active in TNA. That's what I would go with. JJ's not going to spend his money on Rhea versus Becky. I mean, if it's that Mania, you're on Peacock already, so it kind of is what it is. Marshall, I'm ordering Sting's last match in Revolution 2024. I'm disappointed it's going to be a tag match. I don't think we should be expected to expect Sting to be a one-on-one. Do I, deep down, feel that Steve Borden / Sting personally selected the Young Bucks for his final match, or is this a case of the Bucks forcing their way into a glory situation? I think as crazy as we believe Tony is, I don't think he has that little respect for Sting to not let him make the decision. I think if Sting wanted somebody else, Sting would have got somebody else. Do I honestly think Cody will finish the story at WrestleMania this year now that The Rock is back and people like Virtue want The Rock? Said it for a while. Roman Reigns versus The Rock does not need to be for the WWE Championship. So, yeah, I do. I think that Cody finishing the story honestly, for me, it's Cody finishing the story would be best against Randy Orton, his mentor, his longtime friend in the business. Great feud, possibly, for that. So, yeah, I do think Cody will finish the story. You're not going to argue with me either on this one, Josh. Not by a bit. I had forgotten Cora was out with an ACL, so that's my bad. Here we go. After the Punk Drew promo, do I think WWE has pushed even harder to re-sign Drew? I think they'd be insane not to. I think they would be insane not to as well. Whether WWE has done it is entirely in the knowledge pocket, if you will, of Drew Galloway and Paul Levesque and Nick Khan and whoever else makes those decisions. I hope they have, though. To be honest with you, I really hope they have. When I book CM Punk versus Steve Austin, and why do you think they will book it during Punk's run? I think there's enough long-term story to get Punk and Austin together. I just don't know if I'd book it. I think Austin getting that one-off, that send-up the way he went out against Kevin was delightful. Any chance WWE and AEW will get together in the future to I mean, anything's possible in wrestling now. We've learned never to say never at this point. So why not? Why the hell not? I'm okay with that if they do. Honest to God, I am. I want so bad for the Forbidden Door to be kicked off its hinges, just completely blown wide open. That's what I want. So anything's possible. If they take a whole other year to put the championship on Cody Rhodes, I'm going to have a stroke, Sam. I'll be honest with you. That's like, some people need to call me an ambulance the night of WrestleMania since I'm not going. I'll be here locally. Just don't take me to the hospital here locally. Please don't do that. But yeah, I will literally expire and probably die if it's a whole another year of Cody. I have to finish the story. I will go knucking futs if that happens. I'm okay with Rhea and Liv Morgan being that Rhea killer, if you will. I'm cool with that. What are the odds of somebody holding a title in WWE, AEW, and TNA at the same time? After this last year and going into 2024, the odds aren't as great as you think, Joey. They're pretty narrow now. So, I mean, like we said at the end of last year, WWE and TNA are under the same streaming umbrella with Endeavor. WWE and AEW might end up on the same television platform with Warner Brothers Discovery. There are so many what ifs that can happen. I just want it done right without the one company buying the other and just Crockett UWF, just 2001 Invasion or whatever, doing that sort of crap, because that ends up always being the drizzling, sick in bed and having to run to the bathroom shits. It's awful. Every time that's booked. So don't book it like that. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm saying. Let the company stay separate and actually work together properly. Okay, I need a break. Really quickly here. So let me go ahead and run a couple of ads while I get a couple of swigs of the emergency powder infused water. First thing, you can check out our what's coming up on our open mic night / game night karaoke specials coming up beginning this Saturday. And as you saw, you can catch our open mic game night presentation of The Price is Right and certain games kind of borrowed from that show this Saturday, January 20th. And our next watch along, of course, will be the following Saturday as we officially hit the road to WrestleMania with the 2024 Royal Rumble premium live event. Our coverage, of course, will be across the Multiverse of Media. So stay tuned for both of those. Excuse me. I tried. Anyway, let's see. How am I physically? I've been better, but I'm getting better. Coughing a lot less today. Finally got some proper, for lack of a better term, antihistamine medication to clear the congestion, because God, that's been the worst part, is these headaches and just the constant lightheadedness, faintness, dizziness. That's been the worst part, worse than the cough. The cough, you get the gunk out of your chest and your throat, you're good to go for a little while anyway. These headaches are just enduring. So it's getting better. Thank you, Walter, for asking. Do I feel the Judgment Day is getting more over with R-Truth like Bloodline did with Sammy? I think they're in the right direction with that going on. Yes. How long will Gunther hold on to the Intercontinental Championship? I'm going to say two things. One, at least until he passes Pedro Morales as the all-time cumulative champion. I think Pedro's total time as champion through his reigns was like 619 days. Somebody do a fact check for me on that. Gunther's up in the 540s, so it's not too much farther away. That's one thing. The other thing, I think he will be in the final match, or the World Championship or WWE Championship, whatever match at Berlin. So at least until they figure out a way to, I guess, line that up, program it or whatever, and have him go into it with the Intercontinental Championship and then pull Warrior and drop it, right? That's how I would book it personally, is have him look unstoppable going into Berlin, so he is the undefeated Intercontinental Champion as the proper number one contender to the World or WWE Universal Championships. JD, I'll get back to your question about SmackDown here in a second. And yes, by the way, everybody, stay warm out there. This weather is crazy, coast to coast. It is absolutely banana, as Pat Patterson would say. So I agree with everybody. Please stay safe. Did I see the Carmelo Hayes versus Austin Theory match on SmackDown, how it ended? What are my thoughts and the updates? I don't have any updates myself personally. I did. Guys, I'm gonna run a commercial real quick. I'll be right back. Ignore that song. Sorry. I'll be right back. Cowboy Sports Bar.
Whoever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lou. and a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa de 18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Okay. I'm about to call him back. Give me a second, guys. I'm so sorry. I know you're getting a weird shot. I'm sorry. You guys can hear me. Okay. This is what happens when you try to do things more than once by yourself. More than two things by yourself. All right, let's see where I was here. I apologize, you guys. I am so sorry. So yes, I did see this match. I did see how it ended. No updates from anybody that I have heard, but I've been kind of out of the loop on wrestling here for the weekend. I've been busy with familial stuff. JJ, you do know that, so I don't have to elaborate too much. Scary, to be honest with you, that they had such a major collision like that. Again, on television, second time in whatever it was, second time in a couple weeks. Very scary. Glad to see that WWE and the business and whole is taking steps to prevent that happening, or anything further happening. Excuse me, I'm very thrown off, guys. I do apologize for that. It's encouraging to see that they're trying to right the wrongs of the past of just putting it, shrugging it off, if you will. Anyway, so yeah, it just kind of derailed the flow of the show there. I do apologize for that. Let's go ahead and do the plugs. That way I can get off the air and try to coordinate this shit, because clearly people don't understand my schedule, even though I laid it out to everybody 100 million times. If you missed our coverage of Hard to Kill, please check that out. It's in the archives and on the page of the Multiverse of Media. Noah and I are on the call on this, and also check out our mega coverage of AEW's events from Saturday Night Collision and Battle of the Belts 9. Both those streams, which ran simultaneously, by the way, are available in the archives, as was our second anniversary show, which did not make this damn plug stuff, so I apologize. We had our 2-year anniversary show of Open Mic Night on Saturday. So much fun. We went like 5.5 hours or something. It was ridiculous how much fun it was. So cool. Again, the Ilya thing with Ridge, I think, was an angle, but they're running it because of what happened with Ridge and Big E. So, but yeah, all the cameras were all the cameras. I'm reading another comment. All the injury scares lately have definitely been that. They've been scary. JJ over on For Love Wrestling, his weekday reviews of televised wrestling has now added Impact, at least until No Surrender. So check out JJ every single day of the week over on the Custodian Studios, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. And he will have his reviews on Mondays of SmackDown, Rampage, and Collision, on Tuesdays of Raw, Wednesdays NXT reviews, Thursday his Dynamite reviews, and now Friday mornings he will have his reviews of TNA rebranded Impact Wrestling. So pretty cool. TNA Wrestling's Impact. So excuse me. I'll get it right. Tomorrow, programming note. Stat Boy Sports Bar will be at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. I do have a familial obligation that will prevent me from sitting in the director's chair, so check out Stat Boy Sports Bar. From what we understand, featuring Dory Lou this week. So check it out. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on the Constantine Studios and the Jeff Meacham Network. Wednesday, as mentioned in the chat here during the Steelers loss to Buffalo, Luck of the Draw will be presented on the Greg Cherry brand on the Greg Cherry Show, a special edition of the Greg Cherry Show, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. I'll be unable to defend my Luck of the Draw championship. Again, I've got familial stuff that has tied me up Tuesday night. Going through Wednesday night and Thursday night, I'll be back live Friday. I may be able to do Meach's Musings this week. I don't know as far as the transit timing lays out. If I'm able to do Meach's Musings, it will be Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, but I just don't know right now, unfortunately. Again, open mic game night this Saturday is Price is Right. Next Wednesday's Greg Cherry Show will be our Rumble numbers draw, supporting the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. That's also 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific on the Greg Cherry Show Wednesday night. Again, we're back at the watch-along shenanigans with the Royal Rumble on Saturday, January 27th. The same night, I will be in Las Vegas with my buddies Paradise Kitty at the Santa Fe Station. You can get your tickets through Ticketmaster on that, actually, general admission tickets. But check out Paradise Kitty social medias for all the information. Paradise Kitty Band on Instagram. And I believe Paradise Kitty All Girls Guns and Roses on Facebook. Check them out. ParadiseKittyBand.com as well. And we'll be back here Monday with Talk Wrestling right here on the NoDQ.com YouTube channel and socials, as well as across the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media. So thank you again for all that. Yeah, it's going to be a rough Wednesday, unfortunately. But I definitely recommend checking out Luck of the Draw. It's going to be fun. They'll have some really cool people on there, and they won't have to focus on football, so it'll be okay. Thank you guys for your patience today. I know it was kind of a rough ending there with the interruption, so I do apologize. For everybody at NoDQ.com, the Multiverse of Media, I am Jeff Meacham saying have a wonderful night, and we will see you guys tomorrow for Stat Boy Sports. Oh, tonight for Aaron's review of recap Monday Night Raw as well as the Tillas over on our buddy Rangers Wrestling YouTube channel. So check both those out, guys. Night.
NoDQ.com. NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com.
NoDQ.com. NoDQ.com.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.